I'm Kaitlyn Bristowe. Your session is now starting.
Grape Therapy.
Welcome to the I have Bliss from Love is Blind, and then shortly after, I've got Tiff from Love is Blind getting their sides of the story. So cute. So enjoy.
Do you feel like you had to carry yourself like a certain way because you're like, oh my gosh, people are watching? Or are you like, this is who I am?
Yeah, it's definitely who I am. It's not how I've always been, though. You know what I mean? Like, it definitely took me a lot of like learning in my 20s to kind of like, you know what? It's not really worth it. Like, at the end of the day, when someone like treats you badly, like that's about them. You know, you don't have to like sink to their level. Like, so it was a lot of like learning for me. And it just really, really like a lot of hard work going into it. And that's just who I am. You know, I think like, and maybe you can relate to, because you've obviously been in the scenario, like you kind of forget that the cameras are there sometimes, right? Like it just kind of becomes like a part of like your scenery and your environment. And so you just kind of forget, but I'm glad that I was able to stay true to myself. I think that was the most important thing for me. So
it came through that way. Like it didn't seem like you were putting on an act. It seemed like that's a person who's done some work in their life to like, you know, learn and grow. And then you came on the show, and you know, the cameras, it's different because you kind of have them Big Brother style in the pods, and then all of a sudden you're living together, and the camera crews, are the camera crews right there, or is it also Big Brother style in the apartments?
So the camera crews are actually there. But in the lounge and stuff, there's actually the cameras were there too. So you had the Big Brother style in the pods, but then when you were in the lounge, you had the Big Brother style and the cameras as well. So that's when it kind of got used to them kind of being there. And then when you're in the apartments, they're not allowed to put the little cameras up in Washington State. So it's just the cameras physically there. Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting rule. Okay. I have so many questions to get through, and I wish I had more time with you, but I need to know if you heard Micah's response to Zach's comments at the finale.
Like that little clip with the puppies. Are you talking about that one?
Didn't she slam Zack or something and say, like, I don't know what he was on at the finale? And she was saying,
I don't think I heard that. Was that an interview? I must not have watched it.
I love this.
That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. You know, like hopefully, like, look, like I think Zack and I are just trying to come into this, like giving, you know, people grace and like forgiveness, and like also standing up, you know, if we see something like really wrong, kind of like standing up for what we think is right. So, you know, it's maybe she felt like she needed to say that to protect herself. I don't know.
Well, first of all, I love that you didn't even hear about that. And I'm like the asshole that brings it up. But I love it. Like, you know what? It is what it is. And that's been my favorite thing about you two as a couple. And it's the fact that you both are giving people so much grace, because it is a bizarre scenario. It is a unique situation. It is like hard to navigate through all of these things in front of so many people. And, you know, it is an experiment. So if you think about that, there's going to be a lot of, you know, mistakes being made and things happening that wouldn't happen in real life, you know, because it is a TV show. It is real emotions, but it's also a TV show. So in the pods, you obviously knew Zack was also in a relationship with other people, because again, this is a weird situation that this is what happens. But you had to see how she was treating people in the house. Now, I know editing happens, and I know it's hard to go back because you guys have filmed this so long ago, and now you're having to revisit so many things. But how did that make you feel? You seem like a protective person over the people you care about, which I love. So how did it make you feel knowing someone that you loved wasn't seeing a certain side of someone? Were you like, oh my gosh, it'll just take time? Or how are you feeling?
It's hard because, like you said, they don't have time to show everything. So when I'm talking about kind of like what's happening in the lounge to Zack, I'm not giving details, and I purposely did not want to give details because I didn't want to like try to manipulate him or try to like, you know, like people kind of have to come to their own decisions. And I knew when you're in the pods, no one else is in there with you. You can be whoever you want to be. And so I think that there was definitely a way different side that was being shown in the pods than what was actually happening in the lounge. So,
yeah. And had Irina reached out to either of you individually since the show aired?
So she, after the first set of episodes dropped, she did like reach out and send an apology. And then she had sent me a message after she got back from Mexico. But other than that, there hasn't really been any contact.
It's so hard because people have moved on and the filming happened so long ago. You've already lived your lives now. Now you're revisiting so many things. And it felt like at the finale, people just didn't want to talk about things that were in the past. And I totally get that because I'm like, oh, it's been so long. So how did you guys like navigate being a married couple while this was all, I guess a secret?
Yeah. It was definitely challenging to like have to keep things a secret and not post pictures and not do this, but I'm also kind of grateful for it because we got to like just live our life and like build our foundation and like become like a really, really strong couple before we had to deal with like the public kind of having an opinion about everything and how, being, so it's definitely like pros and cons. So like, there's definitely a good side to it. And, we really just couldn't be pictured together, wear our rings out. So we kind of had to keep a little bit of a secret, but, otherwise I think I'm happy that we had that time, just us to like be normal and stuff. So
that's true. You kind of get to process everything that you've just been through. And do you rewatch every episode?
We did. We watched it together. We watched everything just like me and him. I think that was important for us, especially considering our scenario. We just wanted to be able to, have like our own opinions and not the whole world and like families and friends. So it was nice to watch it together. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It must be so bizarre to watch it back because, well, from my experience on TV, obviously it's like edited a certain way or you don't get to see everything. So how accurately do you think your relationship was portrayed in comparison to how you remember it?
I think it was pretty accurate. Obviously, like I wish like more of our dates, and I feel like every couple feels that way. They wish more of their dates were shown or whatever, but there's just not time. But I feel like it was pretty accurate. Like I think they did a good job of like capturing our like deep connection. So it was good, I think.
They're the freaking cutest. Like I remember being like, this feels like other couples feel like, they're having, it's like what you expect to see out of a relationship. I don't know why you two seem so unique and different, but it felt like more real. I don't know if it's because you had gone through, like something where you're taking a person back after they've done something like that. I think that's relatable to a lot of people because I believe in second chances, and I think you're living proof of why second chances can be a good thing. Is that something you two are still like navigating through, or is it like, I gave him a second chance, it's working, and we don't have to revisit that?
Honestly, that's kind of how I feel. Like I gave him a second chance. Like you said, like that's just how real life works sometimes, right? I mean, I wasn't going to give like a fifth chance, right? So like chance was good, and we going through it, and living through it and all of that, that really was kind of like all I needed for it. And even watching it back, like that didn't stir up any sort of feelings about it. You know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of funny for people to like talk about it because we've so moved on from that,
Yeah, I bet. Some people can't move on from certain things like that, and some people can.
Right. Yeah.
And so I love that you two have moved on and that you're still, I was gonna say, I keep thinking it's like The Bachelorette where you're engaged. I'm like, no, you're freaking married. You're married.
No, right? No. That's crazy. Like full on, like married. Like getting engaged is like it's a big deal, right? But like we got married. It's like a whole other thing.
I was talking to G from obviously the first season, and I was like, you don't actually sign marriage certificates. Like that's for TV. She's like, no, you do. And I was like, what?
Like
that blew my mind.
Married. Yeah, it's huge. It's crazy.
I mean, I guess that's why, people have these moments that freak out at the altar because I always think too, are you really doing in the moment a yes or no? Or how does the other person not know what you're going to say at the altar?
Well, some people like definitely had discussions. Like Zack and I had talked about it, right? Like we were like, we're gonna say yes. We had talked so much about it. We had agreed upon it. Of course, like if one of us wanted to change our mind, we're like, okay, there's space for that. But some people like follow the experiment truly to the end and do not make their decision until they're standing up there, which is intense. So
that is intense. So I guess that, it's kind of like the format of The Bachelorette where you can't just tell them, oh, I'm picking you. And it does create intensity in the moment, and it does feel so good when the other person says yes in that moment, because you have this genuine reaction of like, oh, thank God. But I would find that so hard to, especially if, do you spend any time with them off camera?
Yeah, you definitely do with your other person. Yeah. So there's, you're living together. So the cameras aren't there 24/7. So you have, time that's off camera to talk or do whatever you need to do. So yeah, you definitely get a lot more time together than what you see on the screen.
Was the biggest hurdle that you two have had to like get over as a couple what we saw on TV, or what's been the hardest part of, being thrown into a marriage like this?
Yeah, for me, so like he's allergic to my dog and my cat. So like that was the biggest hurdle for us. I know, like they don't show that too much in the show, but like we had to go through allergy shots.
That's not a dramatic hurdle. That's cute. That's your hurdle. My God.
We're so boring. I guess we just don't have
hurdles. That's really your biggest hurdle. That's really cute.
Yeah, so far. I mean, we've been married for a year, and like he's just such an easygoing person. So it's been really easy to live with him and stuff,
That's really nice, because I mean, not that you would sit here and tell me otherwise and be like, he's the worst to live with and he does this and he does this. But is there anything that you two like butt heads over living together? I mean, that's just so fast.
I mean, that's gonna happen, right? So like definitely like sleeping is probably our most like touchy thing. Like I wake up like with his elbow literally in my eye half the time, and like there's just not enough space. Like move over, I think the sleeping is our biggest thing. And I wake up really early in the morning. He kind of like sleeps in a little bit more because I have my schedule is really crazy, and so I think sleeping is probably our biggest, like day-to-day challenge.
So are you both still working your original jobs?
Yes. I know. It's so hard to balance. Like he owns his own like law firm, so he has a little bit more flex, but I'm still working my 9 to 5. It's a lot to balance.
Do people treat you differently now at your job? Because like obviously.
Yeah, I definitely get like messages from people I've like never like had a meeting with or talked to, like they'll send me an email or like a Slack message. It's all like been really, really nice, but it's just kind of funny and a little awkward. It's like, okay, this is work. Like, let's just keep it work, but it's been nice.
And you work for Walt Disney, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's so
it's a
cool.
big company. It's a big company. So I get like random, messages from like Orlando people or whatever, but it's always really nice stuff.
I mean, still, that just must be so crazy, because when you go on that big of a platform and put your whole relationship and self out there and then go back to a 9 to 5, do you plan on, like, what are your plans with Zack moving forward? Do you guys want to continue your work schedule? Do you want to build something together? Like, what's the dream?
The dream is like building something together. We're really passionate about like giving back to the community and nonprofits and stuff like that. So we definitely are going to like start doing those types of things. And I think when you have this type of platform, like you want to use it for something good. So definitely like rolling off the 9 to 5, at some point, and really diving deep into like, following our passions. So
that's awesome. I'm excited for you guys. I feel like, and again, this is just from an outside perspective, I just feel like you have such a genuine thing that is like, it's crazy that you met that way, but this is how it's going to work, and you're going to make it work. And, you did already go through so many hurdles, that now you're like, oh, I guess he's allergic to my dog, like that, which by the way, would break my heart if that happened to me. But your mom, by the way, is a saint, angel, human. I feel like you get your heart from her and you get your drive from your dad. And it's like, I love that your dad came around and everything's going well there, and he's sending you on a honeymoon, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he totally came around. He just needed to get to know him more. And like, I totally get it. Like, I'm glad that someone was skeptical, because like my mom was like, yeah, and his family was like, yeah. It's like, wait, we're doing this crazy thing. Like, someone please like ask some questions. So it's all good.
I feel like he humbled the hell out of you both, just being like, how crazy this is. I actually laughed. I loved that episode. I was like, this guy is so legit. Like, he's the only one being realistic about all of this, because I always think that way when people meet the families on Bachelor and Bachelorette too, when they're skeptical, I'm like, good. I'm like, this is crazy. And you should be asking these hard questions, and you shouldn't give a shit about what people on the internet or at home are going to say, because this is your family. Like, I respected the hell out of it.
Yeah, that's kind of like my take on it too. I was like, I expected him to be that way. It was just like how it, you know what I mean? And I'm glad he like get a little bit of like a wake up call is always good from someone. So
Well, it probably made you be like, well, I better be pretty serious about this, or he's gonna, you know, he's gonna win the battle. And so where did you say? I think you said it on the finale. Yeah, where are you guys going?
Yeah, we're doing 2 honeymoons. We're going to Europe in a couple weeks, actually, and then we're going to Panama at the end of June. So that's the honeymoon he's paying for us to go to. My stepmom's from there. I've never been. I'm so excited.
Wait, where in Europe are you going? I'm obsessed with Europe.
I know, we're like bouncing around. So we're going to Italy, Croatia, Montenegro, and then we're going to spend like the second half of it in like the UK. So like in London, and then go to Ireland for a while. So Zack really wants to go to Ireland, and I love Ireland. So
I love Ireland. It's one of my favorite places in the world.
People are there.
So beautiful. It's so amazing. Okay, I want to ask you something, and this isn't even in my notes. And if you don't want me or don't want to talk about it, I will totally respect that. But I just thought of this. Do you have any thoughts on Vanessa being so pushy about all people like have babies right away? Like, because people were kind of like giving her a hard time about that. And I always like to see, you know, two sides of everything, where part of me was like, okay, that was a little much. Like for example, Jason posted a picture with my godson the other day, and people were like, Kaitlyn, give that man a baby. And I was like, whoa. Like, that some people, like, women's bodies can't just do that just because you should give a man a baby, or you should have babies because now you're married. But then on the other side, I'm like, she just loves kids and loves having kids and wants people to feel the joy that she feels. I don't know if you're allowed to talk about that.
I think that's like my take on it too. Like, I think she had the best of intentions going into it, and she's a mom, and, you know, everyone has like individual feelings about motherhood and about having kids. And I think she, like you said, she probably just wants everyone to kind of like feel the love that she's having. And it's a personal thing for everyone, right? Like, we all get to decide if we want to have kids, when we want to have kids, all of that type of thing. So it definitely was a little bit of an unexpected question, but I think that she had like good intentions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
I mean, people are just so hard on her and on them as hosts in general. I always think they do such a good job, but that to me, I was like, oh, okay, it's like I get sensitive for other people, I guess, because so many of my friends have struggled with infertility and certain things that I'm a little like sensitive to it. But I did know that she had good intentions.
Yeah, no, I agree with your take on that. It definitely can be very sensitive because you just don't know what someone's going through, you know, in a fertility journey, but good intentions, I really think. So
absolutely. Okay. And then I'm such a big believer in signs from the universe. I have always been slapped in the face with signs from the universe. And are you the same way?
Yes, 100%. Yes, I'm very in tune with that, like my whole life since childhood. Totally agree. Yes.
Really, so it took me a long time to figure this out, but in my 30s, I really got quite spiritual with that kind of stuff. And once you open your eyes to it, you can't unsee certain things like that. And so that's crazy too, because so many signs happen for you and Zack in the pods with the owl and the song. And I bawled my freaking eyes out when you guys danced to I Hope You Dance at the wedding. And it was like the fact that was a sign from the universe. And then you two danced to it at your freaking wedding. Like, what?
I know. It literally gives me chills. Like,
I have full body chills.
It was so sweet.
It is. It's a really beautiful moment. And has there been any other signs that have happened for you two since, or are you like, we're signed out?
Honestly, I really feel like everything just keeps aligning. Like, we found out that like my college roommate and one of his close friends in college, like, were best friends, you know, like we went to different colleges, but like my roommate, his really close friend, were like best friends since childhood. There's all these just like little connections that we've had, and just in our talking. And I mean, the owl thing is just really, really, really powerful. And it was way more than like what you see. The moon, like, he gave me these little like moon little bookend things that he'd had. Like, we have the connection of the moon. Like, I don't know, it keeps with honestly this past year, like it just keeps affirming like that this is my person. And I think that's why I was able to like give him such a second chance, like because there's just been signs. I really believe in that. It's like always kind of guided me the right way, like my intuition, signs from the universe. And I was like, yeah, like I'm going to give him an opportunity. So why would I not?
I
So
think
it was,
that's really cool. I love that stuff so much. And even like sometimes I'm like signed up for emails from like moonreading.com. And sometimes I'll be like, I need a sign today. I'll go like click a card on the internet and like a tarot card will flip. And I'll be like, I need a sign. And I'll be like, I'm going to need a signier sign than that. And I like different one. I'm such a dork.
something different than that one. Delete.
Yeah. That one didn't count. That one didn't count. Is there anything that you want to be out there that nobody knows that you're like, this didn't get shown, or I want people to know this? Is there anything, or are you like, nah, pretty good?
You know, like one of the funny things, and this is another maybe like a sign type universe thing. I was so sick I hadn't had COVID the whole time. The whole pandemic, I did not get COVID. And then like 2.5 weeks before we're leaving for the show, I get COVID and I'm like super, super sick. And I had to test negative in order to go. So like I almost did not even make it to the show. Like I was I was like drinking so much water, getting IVs, just like trying to just heal. And luckily I tested negative and I was able to go on the show. But it was like squeaking out by like, I think I had 10 days from when I got a positive test to when I needed to test negative, because they start testing you before you leave, or a couple weeks before you leave, or a week or whatever. So it was one of those things where I barely made it there, and everything just somehow worked out. And I found my husband in this crazy way, and all the ups and downs, and like truly like a crazy serendipitous thing.
Wow. It really is. I mean, it's just so cool when, you know, I love how they always call it the experiment, because I'm like, it really is, but it's cool when it works. And I always just root so much for the people that make it out, because I'm like, what a crazy thing to like, no one in the world will, well, maybe like a few people will realize what you've been through, and you like have this bond for life through it. So that is incredible. Before do you have time to just tell me a quick confession? Because I always like hearing my guests tell me something.
So when Zack was proposing to me, the key, like the word, because I was totally surprised. Like I had zero idea that he was going to propose to me. I was completely shocked. And it was funny because I'm like very much a rule follower. And so when the producers was like, okay, I'm going to go check the monitors. But that was like the phrase for Zack to be like, okay, like I'm going to propose, like start the proposal. And he was like, I'm going to check the monitors, so you guys wait. And I was like, okay. And then Zack was like, so Bliss, and I'm like, no, don't talk. Like where he's checking the monitor. And he was like, it's fine. I'm like, no, it's not fine. And he was like, he's kept talking. I'm like, Zack, like, no, he's checking the monitors. And I just kept being like, stop, like, no. And he's like, Bliss, I promise you it's fine. And I was like, thinking about doing it one more time, like interrupting him to be like, don't talk. And I was like, okay, whatever, just go for it. And I'm glad I did, but he was probably like, oh, it's probably so nervous. And I just keep like interrupting his proposal.
That's so cute. Oh, you're like, no, stop. No, this isn't the time. And then like, actually, I'm trying to ask you to marry me. So if you would kindly stop talking. No, you stop. That's funny. I actually have one more question. When you found out he wanted to talk to you, were you completely shocked, or did you have a feeling that would happen after he got to know the real Irina?
I knew that he was going to figure it out eventually, but I was surprised, right? Like I didn't know they had broken up. Like I didn't know what was going on. So I definitely was super, super shocked. And I was a little bit, standoffish and kind of had my guard up, but just because of the connection we had, I was like, you know what, I'll give him a chance. Like I'll like hear him out. So that was my comment.
I'm glad you did. The world is glad you did. And everybody's rooting for you guys. I'm going to play one quick game with you before I let you go. And it's just a most likely to game. So obviously you went on the show, you know all the people, you got to know them, you live with the women, you dated the men, and I want to know who's most likely to. So I'm going to ask both you and Tiffany these questions, and we'll see if you answer the same. Okay. So who is most likely to go on another reality TV show?
Micah.
I see that. Okay. Who is most likely to delete all of their social media accounts?
Paul.
So true. Most likely to get in an argument with a troll on the internet?
Ooh, that's a good one. I want to say Zack because he's very like, he's a defense attorney. Yeah, Zack. Let's say Zack.
That adds up. Okay, who's most likely to post something embarrassing on Instagram?
Probably me.
Like what?
Like accidentally like upload something like I didn't intend to, like that's very a me thing for sure.
I did that once. I was just like, the sun was bright in my eyes and I was doing a full Instagram story and my nip was fully just out of my dress talking. And I posted it too. And it like took me a while to realize what I had done. It was really bad.
That's so funny. Yeah, that's a big moment.
Pretty embarrassing. Okay, who's most likely to slide into another cast member's DMs?
Ooh. Oh my gosh, another cast member. That one's hard. Honestly, I don't think anyone's, just the dynamic that's already been built. I feel like no one is going to do that. So that's my answer. It's a boring answer.
No, that's okay. That's fair. Who is most likely to have a weird Google search history?
Probably Zack. Yeah.
What kind of stuff would he look up? Like random facts?
Yeah, just like random facts. Like he goes down like a rabbit hole of like random facts or a random idea or, so probably he'd have the most interesting one.
I want to see it. Okay, who would be most likely to FaceTime you at 1 a.m. on a night out?
Chelsea, for sure.
Chelsea seems like the best time.
She's so fun. She's literally one of the funnest people I've ever met. She's so fun. I love her.
I feel that like she's another one that I'm like, she's just a unique human being where I love her confidence. I just love her confidence. It's everything. Are you close with most people from the show that are, either still or not?
Yeah, no, I really am. We're all super, super close. Chelsea and I are like really, really close. Like she definitely does FaceTime me like regularly, like at 11 or 11:30. Like we're both night owls, but yeah, we talk pretty much every day.
Some of the coolest things that come out of, these crazy TV shows are the friendships. So that's awesome. Well, I'm just so grateful that you took the time to talk today and I just adore you guys.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It was so awesome chatting with you.
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll just see you on your Instagram stories.
All right, see you there, girl. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Okay, the Hyundai Tucson comes with America's best warranty, including 10 years or 100,000 miles. It's like a little mental vacation from worry that no other brand offers. So whether that's up into the mountains, hit the old slopes, on a ski trip, cruising down the coast to the beach, or just hitting the trailway out and wherever you go to get away from it all. Add in 3 years of Hyundai complimentary maintenance and 5 years of roadside assistance, and the Tucson makes that mental vacation even more worry-free. Just don't forget your sunscreen and your bug spray, and of course snacks. Don't forget anything, but it's your trip. So whatever. So take a mental vacation, or better yet, a vacation in the Tucson and leave those worries behind. The Tucson with America's best warranty. It's your journey. Test drive the Tucson at your nearest Hyundai dealer or learn more at HyundaiUSA.com. Call 562-314-4603 for complete details.
Hi!
Hey, Kaitlyn.
Not us clapping that we're meeting. Yay!
So good to see you.
So good to see you. I feel like I've known you and yet we've never met. And do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that way too.
One of my favorite things is if I, like fall in love with somebody on a show and then I go to follow them and it says follow back, I'm like, oh, and that was what happened with you. Like I went to follow you and I was like, oh my gosh, she follows me. I'm so excited to this friendship to be a real thing now.
Can't meet you in person.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I can't wait either. We will definitely make that happen. I played this game with Bliss and I'm going to play it with you and we're going to see if you guys have similar answers. And it's just a little game of most likely to. So who's most likely to go on another reality TV show?
I'm going to go with Micah.
That's what she said. Who's most likely to delete all of their social media accounts?
Oh. Out of the girls y'all seen on the show?
Yeah, or guys.
Or guys delete their social media account. Maybe Paul.
That's what she said too. Who's most likely to get in an argument with a troll on the internet?
Okay. I'm going to go with, so I'm either going to go with Josh or I'm going to go with Zack.
She said Zack, but I forgot about Josh. Oh yeah, is he likes to go toe to toe with the trolls?
Well, I guess he like wrote on Brett's like photo, and like some trolls were coming for him, so like Josh was hitting back.
Oh gosh, just flooding Brett. That's so funny. Okay, who's most likely to post something embarrassing on Instagram?
Ooh. Out of the girls and the guys. Gosh. No comment on that.
Bliss said herself, she's like, I probably would put something up and like not mean to. Yeah. Who is most likely to slide into another cast member's DM?
Ooh, that's spicy. To another cast member's DM. Oh gosh, this is so bad. What if I said Paul?
Okay, that's who I was thinking. Like off the top of my head, I was like, maybe Paul, and then
He may be over it now. I don't know. Gosh, no, I'm gonna stick with my answer. I'm gonna go with Paul.
We're going with Paul. Who is most likely to have a weird Google search history?
Oh goodness, a weird one. Zack.
That's what I said too. You guys are nailing this. And who's most likely to FaceTime you at 1 a.m. on a night out?
That was Chelsea.
Yeah. We literally have all the same answers. That's incredible. We're gonna put those side by side and go. Ding,
Yeah.
ding. It's so funny because you've just been in my living room for like the past however many weeks of watching, and I just like I start to feel like I know people, which I'm sure when you watch shows you feel the same way. Is that so crazy for you to know that you're on like the biggest Netflix show, that it like broke the internet, that like people talk about this, and that you're like the it couple? Does it just blow your mind?
I don't think it's hit me yet. Like, I still feel very normal. I've only seen the show like once. I can only sit through listening to my voice once, and I'm like, nah. But just the fact that my social media is now like kind of popping off, I'm like, oh, this show is bigger than I thought it was going to be.
It's a big show. I mean,
Yeah.
Did you watch other seasons?
I watched, yeah, like briefly, but I don't know. I just thought it was shown here in the US for some reason. So knowing that it's shown globally, I'm like, wait, what? Brazil's in my comments.
Got Brazil in the comments. That's amazing. But have you experienced, well, I'm sure because you have a platform, but have you experienced some trolls, and how are you dealing with that side of it? Because you guys are getting a lot of love. People love it. Like Netflix even was like Brett and Tiff forever. Like it's a whole thing. So, but have you experienced the nasty side of the internet?
I have a little bit. I think I'm more used to it now, but that second week in for the show, I was like taking it pretty tough because like I can now talk about it. My husband.
Yes,
My husband, I mean, he is absolutely amazing. And so just seeing it all play back on TV, I'm like, Brett, you're like a freaking Prince Charming. And here I'm just like stumbling over my words, losing my breath because I'm like, oh, he's so good looking. So like girls were kind of coming at me like, oh, you don't deserve him. Like, wait.
no. You absolutely do deserve him. That is, yeah.
Exactly. But it got to me at first. Now I'm like, man, they just hating.
Oh yes, they hate because they ain't, and that is the
Exactly.
yeah, it's I mean, everything always stems from jealousy or insecurity. So, I'm glad you're also feeling the love because I bet there's a lot of that going on and a lot of support for you. And just, it's always so crazy to me too that how long ago filming was to when it airs. So you've been married for like a year now, right?
Yes, I have.
How has your relationship changed or evolved over the last year?
Well, I will say, like, I loved Brett the day that I married him. But I think what is more beautiful is that I'm falling more in love with him every single day, every month that goes by. I'm like, oh my gosh, I chose right. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, no kidding. My gosh, because what a gamble. What a little risk you took in life to go on such a huge show, not see a person, connect with them and then get married and T's and P's, the
Yeah.
hopes for the best. But I was just talking to Bliss about signs from the universe and obviously they have all these signs that happen to them. Did you two have any signs that you were like, this is my person? Like, did you have that intuition, that gut feeling?
Well, yeah, okay, like I'll go back to me being an ENFP. Like I really do feel things truly in my gut in order to make decisions.
Mhm.
And so like with Brett, like it didn't start out as my gut feeling. Brett's like this, he's a very deep layered person and you have to peel back those layers to see how beautiful he truly is. And
Mm.
so like as our dates got longer, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm feeling it. And it was, our stories were kind of similar in ways. Like I could relate to his upbringing.
Mhm.
And then it was like one date where we were wearing the same color. It was
Yes.
the same color that did me in.
You're like, "All right, this is it." There was, like, all the feelings leading up, and then that was just like a boom moment where you're like, "Uh-huh."
Yeah, yeah, that was it. And I don't know. And actually to this day, we still get dressed in like we have like two different bedrooms, but we'll come we're in the well sorry, I'm like stumbling over my words. I'm still in shock I'm talking to you.
Oh, you're so cute.
We'll come out wearing the same color even to this day. It's kind of crazy. Yeah.
Wait,
That's my
really? I feel like I mean, I pay attention to every little sign. I think that's it. That's something. That's something. I want to switch gears for a quick second.
yeah.
There's been a lot of criticism of Vanessa in the finale of the show, where I was telling Bliss as well. I'm like, I always am the person to see two sides to everything,
Yeah.
even if it's what, no matter what the internet says. I always try and see both sides. I feel terrible because she seems like an absolute doll and sweetheart. And like I was saying to Bliss, it feels like her intention of asking questions of like when people are having babies was just because she feels so much joy with children and kids and has such a beautiful family. Did you find the question as off-putting as I did? And it just felt very pushy.
I I didn't, but at the same time, like it's just people being so excited about y'all's relationship. Like
Totally.
my does the same thing. She's like a mother to us. Like she is a mother. I think she's just genuinely excited about our relationships.
Yeah, I think so too. And I mean, I personally was like a little bit uncomfortable how like pushy the question seemed. Like, okay, so when are you having babies? When are you having babies? But also I did see it as, her just wanting what she has, like she wanted people to have what she has.
Yeah.
There's like, I mean, people are petitioning to get them off the show as hosts, and I just feel so terrible because I was like, wait, I actually think they're great hosts, but I just wanted your opinion on that.
I mean, I think they're great. And this reunion, it was just different than anything that we've done before. So we're all doing our best to make this happen. But it was epic.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I posted a picture of you sleeping on my Instagram being like, this is going to be me if this finale doesn't air soon. And I didn't even get to watch it until the next day at like 2
Yeah.
p.m. And I was so irritated because I had got my popcorn, I had my wine opened, I was sitting down, and I'm just like grooving out to the music of the Netflix like waiting sounds. And then after like an hour, I was like, all right, this isn't funny anymore. And then the next day in the morning, I still couldn't watch it. I was like, okay, this is a sick joke. Like, you guys literally broke the internet.
Look, we were ready just like y'all. We're just like pins and needles, just ready for it to be like live. And no, it's just so many people logging in. And yeah, everything crashed.
That is
Oh,
wild.
yeah. But I'm kind of thankful for it because I was able to calm down and ready to, just kind of talk about our relationship.
Yeah, the live aspect of television is the most nerve-wracking thing. Like, you do not know what the heck is going to happen, like, well, like the internet crashing. But when you got to watch your story back with Brett, did you watch it back and feel like it was pretty like representative of your personal experience?
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty. I wish there was more that could be told into like how I fell in love. But it's only so much you can tell within a short time frame. But we've had hours and hours of conversation that led us to that point. I think the only thing that I wish they covered was I was going through the same things that Kwame was kind of going through, like moving to Seattle because Brett lived in Portland and he couldn't relocate with his job, and I could work remotely. So it only made sense that I relocate, but I'm leaving everything that I know, the life that I built in Seattle that I was happy with, to go to Portland. So like people saw me crying, but nobody really knew why because it never showed that Brett was in Portland.
Oh, that's so interesting because I remember him saying that at the finale, like they didn't show this, but and I was like, oh yeah, that is hard because I mean, I still understood why you were crying. It's a lot, and it was very, understandable that you're feeling all this pressure and you're feeling overwhelmed, and it's all just a lot. Like, you're trying to, like, you genuinely had to plan a wedding. It's not like
Yes.
like the TV show, I'm sure, helps in a way, but you still had to like plan for your bridesmaids and do everything. You're still working, you're navigating the TV show, cameras and everything.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, all of our family and most of our friends were out of state. So, like, I'm trying to call everybody, be like, look, like, you need to be here in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And we're asking questions why, and like just going over and like the story over and over again. It was just draining. Like, I started offloading a lot of responsibilities to my bridesmaids, which they really came through. But for a while, it was just me until that breakdown happened. And I was like, y'all got to take this for me. I can't do it no more.
Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah, I was like, I don't know how I've been trying to plan a wedding for 2 years and I still haven't been able to make it happen. So to do that in that short amount of time is really, really impressive. Also, wait, wasn't there a crazy rumor that happened that was going around that you and Brett had met before the show or something?
Wait, what?
Yeah. I heard wait, is this a thing?
Yeah.
I'm Googling this. I swear I heard a rumor that people were like, yeah, Tiff and Brett met before the show and they were like plants in the show to have like a success story. Oh my God, I love your reaction because I was like, maybe, I don't know.
No, definitely not. I mean, I wish I met him like prior to going on the show because I would save myself some embarrassment.
I don't think you embarrassed yourself. Well, I loved the nap was everything. I was like relatable. Everything that happened, I was like, yes, this is just how I would react as well.
Oh.
Wait, also with you falling asleep, you guys probably get fed drinks too, and you're up all night like talking. You probably are drained.
Well, yeah, like I'm normally a morning person. So I wake up naturally at like 6 o'clock in the morning. I go to bed probably around like 10:30 at night.
Yeah.
But let's see, we went to the studio. I want to say like 8. And like, we're talking to like all of the girls in the lounge. We go on our dates. Our dates can be hours long. And then we're having lunch, then we go back into night dating. So you have like day dating and night dating. I fell asleep during night dating, but like by that time we were probably 3 hours into our date. So it's probably 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm just like, I finally told him I was falling in love with him. And Brett never told me he was falling in love with me. He was just like pausing the whole time. And I'm like, okay, well, let me just wait. I'm going to just close my eyes for a second. And I ended up passing out. Good night.
Yeah, night night. I love it. I love you. Good night. And I'm out. That's like what my body does when I don't want to deal with something or react to something. I'm like, I'm just gonna go to bed. So you know what? I would have done the same thing. You two just seem like you have, and again, this is what we see, this easy breezy, beautiful love story and relationship. Is there any hurdles that you've had to get over from, going through this process or being married? And I mean, you've already gone through the hurdle of having to leave and pick up your stuff and go through all that, but since being married.
Yeah, I think for me, which I think it comes off on the show, like I'm pretty easygoing. I joke around a lot.
Yeah.
I'm also very much a free spirit. So like I never really have a plan, but I know how to get things done.
That is me to a T. Yes, I feel that.
So he's just very meticulous with how he moves about his day. And like our schedules were just not aligning. Like he doesn't understand how I do things. I don't understand like his routine.
Yeah.
And it's just funny because he's like, this is what has made me successful. Like he does everything that he does, he's very thoughtful, and it's like perfect. For me, I thrive I think in the imperfection. Like I find a way somehow, and I think that may drive him a little crazy.
Yeah, but he probably needs that a little bit. Like that's how I feel like
Yeah.
Jason and I are kind of similar to that. Like I just fly by the seat of my pants. I'm kind of like function in chaos. I'm like I don't even know what my schedule looks like tomorrow. I'll just figure it out when I wake up. And Jason's like, how are you not prepared? Like you need to be prepared for this, and that, the other thing. But I think that works for couples where, it gives them a little, you can't have two people that are the same in that way, or that wouldn't work either. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, and I think that's what I love about him. It's like, I love it, but then it annoys me at the same time. But I think we each other out. Like, I think Brett has learned to be like a little bit more, let's just say like after work, he's used to going to the gym around like 5:36. I may be like, babe, no, let's just have this date night tonight. And he's like, you know what? The gym can wait. Like he doesn't mind like break
Good.
a little bit within reason.
Within reason. So because it probably does, like the same way it makes you happy to like not be that way, it makes him happy to have that structure. So you kind of have to find that balance of both living your lives. You've had that time to live together and deal with the quirks and the like. I saw he's turned you into a sneakerhead, all the things. But is there anything that has surprised you about Brett that you didn't learn in the Love is Blind experiment?
Anything? Oh, well, I didn't realize how funny he was. Like,
Really?
Brett is hilarious, and you don't see that on the show. Brett can mock anyone, like from first time meeting them. I'm like, how you do that? He does with tea. He does a really good impression of Zack, who's Bliss's husband.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Now I need to see that.
He likes talking, and if you've seen, I think it's The Dark Knight Rises. It's one of the Batman movies.
Yes.
This character Bane.
Yes.
I'm doing a bad impression, but he's just so good at it.
Oh, I love that. That always surprises me, I guess, when people's personality doesn't or their humor doesn't come through. I mean, it is such a serious process where you're really getting down to like the nitty-gritty of what you want in a marriage, and everything has to be so serious. So that's fun when you can come out of it and be like, oh, you're also hilarious.
Yeah.
then you just have built-in entertainment. That's amazing. Since you had such an amazing experience and came out of it with this incredible life partner and you're happy, what advice would you give for people who are in search for their partner?
I would say, first, be comfortable with being in your own skin.
Yeah.
Like, period. Like it got to the point where I wasn't searching for love anymore, but I loved myself so much. I loved what I already had, my family, my friends, where I was in life. And I did things for myself that made me happy, that fed my soul. I wasn't looking for somebody to fill in those gaps. So yeah, that's what I would say.
I think that's perfect advice. I love that. What would you say to somebody that wanted to go on Love is Blind?
Oh, don't fake it. Just know who you are, know what you want, and be authentic to who you are, because people are going to see through that.
Yep.
Know that there's always going to be somebody that identifies with you. So just be yourself. And if you're not authentic, then why are you even there? Because your soulmate may never find you because you're not being yourself.
Do you think any one of the cast members was there not to find love, but to find fame?
Oh, you know, I honestly don't know. What I can say is that I do think the girls do have a good heart. Like, I think the pressure and being under the spotlight may have made them act a certain way.
Totally.
I don't know about just going on there for fame. Like, they know their truth.
But I also and people can say whatever, but I actually don't care if people are there for fame. I'm like, I don't get it. I mean, it's a huge TV show. Go have your like moment. I actually don't think it's a bad thing if people go on TV to like try and get their 15 minutes. I am like, yeah, cool, go do it.
Yeah, like it personally didn't bother me. It's just I knew I was looking for my person.
Yeah. So, but that's when it works out, you know, when you are genuinely there looking for something and you found it, and now like the world is rooting for you two as a couple. Does that make you feel like it's a lot of pressure, or do you feel the love and support in a better way than that?
Well, I've been feeling more like love and support. Like I don't know if this sounds weird, but it just makes Brett and I want to be better for each other, for people to see that you can find this love at any age.
Yeah.
I don't know about pressure, because like it was us that they saw on TV.
Right.
But I think the thing I would want to preach is that we're not perfect. So if you ever see us out in public and maybe we aren't smiling, or maybe I'm not Brett with googly eyes, it doesn't mean I don't love him.
You know, all eyes are on you two right now, and it must be just nuts to go out in public and have people recognize you. I feel like Portland is like a very chill place, but do people freak out?
So we haven't really been out in Portland yet, but we just came back from Seattle this morning.
Oh,
wow. So we were there for the weekend, and on Sunday we went to the Seattle Mariners game.
Oh wow. Yeah, you must have got mobbed.
Girl, when I tell you, like, we were sitting on the end of the row, and
that's a bad call.
They put us on the big screen. They're like, Tiffany and Brett Brown from Love is Blind. I think everybody just saw where we were seated, and they coming down the aisle. There was a line of people asking to take. Oh. You can't just take one picture. Like, once you take one, it opens the floodgates to them all. And I do feel like I have to like commit to that.
I know. It's a responsibility, and because you're so nice, like obviously you want to take pictures with people and you don't want to shut someone down, but it is hard because one person, like you said, it opens the floodgates for everyone then to go, well, she got a picture, and then everyone comes up and says, oh, I promise I'll be really fast, I just want one. You're like, well, it's fast for you. Yes, the number one. I used to do a segment on this podcast called If I Had a Nickel, and it was if I had a nickel for like all the things that people said to me after the show, and it was always like people would always go, I hate to be annoying, but and I'm like, but you're going to anyways. But I love it. I freaking love meeting people in airports now and like on the street. I'm like, yeah, you want a picture? Like I love it now where before I was so overwhelmed by it and I didn't know people's intentions and I was scared somebody was like a hater online and then taking a picture with me in real life and I got like in my head about it where now I'm like, I love everyone. Let's all party.
It's so funny because like now I see people trying to sneak pictures and like when I catch them, I'll be like,
yeah. So you just strike a pose. I do that too. Yeah. If I see sneaky photos, I'm like, hey. That's amazing. Well, I know it's really overwhelming, but it's nice that people, you know, are they just love you guys.
Oh wow, they've just been so nice, so supportive. Like it really feels good because like you don't know what you're about to walk into. Like just being a public figure, like the internet can be an ugly place.
Yeah.
We've also, at least Brett and I have also seen like it can be a beautiful place too, and how it's just there's just so much love and support from all around the world, and people just saying like, "Wow, I'm inspired by y'all's love story," or "You made me like not give up on finding love." Each like that is beautiful, and I want to as long as I think I have my platform, I want to ensure that I'm putting out goodness into this world so that way people can continue to receive that and believe in that.
That's really nice.
Like, I think your life just starts in your 30s. Like, I came into my own, like, during this time. And it was perfect that I found my person who was also still available and still looking. So, yeah, it's never too late. Never.
No. It's not ever. Like, no, even if you're 90, I don't care. Like, you can fall in love at 90, who cares? You also get along, obviously, with so many people from the show. I want to know how Chelsea and Kwame are doing because I love them.
Oh, I saw them recently. They're doing good. Like, I'm happy that, I think this has brought them even closer. Like, just going through seeing themselves on TV and going through the reunion. I don't know exactly what type of feedback they were given like during the airing of the show, but I started to pick up on it like during the reunion, and it seems like it's really just brought them closer. They're happy.
That's nice because that can, create stress and tension, and when it can go one of two ways, it can bring you closer together or it can put you against each other, and I love that they're getting through this stronger than ever. And are you and Brett close with Marshall still?
Oh yeah,
how's he doing?
Oh brother, he's good. I think now that the reunion's out the way, like he's fine, like he's moved on, so
yeah. He'll be fine.
I'm in a good place. I just knew that he wasn't, I guess after we finished filming. And I think it was hard for him to even be at our wedding.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just happy to see like a smile on his face again, to see him having fun online and all that stuff.
Yeah, he's in a better place now.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing to go through. I always make my guests confess something to me on the podcast. So this is your chance to confess something to me that you really don't want the world to know, but now they're going to.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me see. Ooh, okay. So okay, I was in my 20s. I was young and dumb.
Yep.
Anyways, I was heading out on a date. And down in Texas, you always have to keep your car clean. Well, yeah, I think it's because it's sunny and like being from Houston, it's all about your cars, like what you're driving. And my car was like really, really dirty. I didn't have enough time to go to the car wash, but I did have to get some gas. So I went to the gas station, and those windshield wiper cleaners, So I was wiping my windshield and I was like, well, maybe I'll just try to like scrub my car down real quick with this. The gas attendant went on the intercom and was like, ma'am, this is not a car wash.
Just calling you out.
Yes, people were turning around. They were like, who is this girl trying to wash her car like right here, right now?
That's your only confession. I feel like you don't have very many embarrassing stories.
I don't have a lot. It was embarrassing for me because it was like a lot of people at the gas station. And before I got to the date, like my car was still dirty. It was only half clean.
Did you tell your date the story?
I couldn't.
It's like, wow, that must be a really big thing in Texas to keep your car clean.
Yes. Oh gosh.
That's funny. Well, I'm sorry you got called out like that, but thank you for sharing your story.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else that you wanted to share before I let you go? If we didn't get to everything, or there's something you wanted to say that you didn't get to? Oh,
no. What you saw on the show is exactly how Brett and I fell in love. Like, yeah. It was just, I'm just glad to see it was like well received, and I still like kind of tear up looking at her story.
Oh, I bet it really is a beautiful love story. I know you wish they probably could show more, but like you will always have that memory to look back on, and you'll always have videos to watch back. That's so cool.
Yes. Yeah. It's going to be a great story for children one of these days.
When? Just kidding. Well, thank you so much for taking the time, and tell Brett I say hello, and one day we will get together and have a glass of wine, and it'll be all off air so we can get to the real stuff. Just kidding.
All right, Kaitlyn, good talking to you.
So good talking to you. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
I will. You too.
Okay. Bye.
I'm Kaitlyn Bristowe. Your session is now ending. And if I'm being honest, I wouldn't mind a rating and review.